Paint the canvas with a light gray.
So let me just share with you how to do a freehand of a baby duck. So I have my reference picture. I took a picture of my own painting in black and white because I want to share with you guys when I am doing a freehand what the process or what I do. So I like to find and to look for like shapes like circles, ovals. This is kind of like a leaf or a drop or a tear. And then this is kind of a triangle. I see another triangle here. But today I want to be doing a real freehand. So I have here another page for you guys to follow me with the different shapes. Okay, are you ready? Okay, with your pencil, I want you first to trace if you're brave enough, you can just go ahead and do it in your canvas direct with your pastel pencil. And I will share after this. I'm going to be sharing the brushes and the paint that we're going to be using today. Okay, so let's start now by adding, I like always to add a line that is going to be like my reference, a middle line and the baseline. So I know that the dog need to be in this section. Okay, so then I see two circles. I see the circle of the head, and then I see a big circle here for the belly. So let's start first. I'm going to be adding my first little circle. And remember, when we are doing freehand, you can use your eraser as much as you need, okay? So I'm going to do more this way, and then a big circle here for the body and the belly. And then I want to connect, I want to add more volume to this part of the circle. So there you go, for the tail. Okay, then I'm going to connect the head with the body, and then the another part with the belly. This is very important, the direction that you're doing for the neck, because you don't want to have a stick neck. Okay, and then the breast, something like this. Okay, so let's keep moving. So I'm going to just see that this part of the duck is like a straight line, and then it has like a little, I want to say mohawk, and here is the peak and here is the eye. So how we're going to find that? So we have these lines. I'm going to divide it in 4. So my little circle is divided in 4, and I know the eye, I'm going to divide the pizza again. So let me show you this. So the eye is in between this slide of pizza. Okay, so let's add the little circle. Okay, and we can even give a little like form to its eye. Okay, so then we know that the peak is in this quarter of the circle. So here what we're going to do is we're going to be checking our photograph, the picture that you are going to be using as a reference picture. And what I like to do is like I like to trace one little part, and then I stop, I watch my original, and then I go a little line, and then I stop, and then I go another curve, and then I stop, and then another curve, and then I stop. Because by doing this, guys, you are going to have more control of the shape. So here we know that is going to be a straight line. You can even go very big, and then we are going to be erasing it. And here it has a little like a smile. Stop here, go around, stop here, and then we can connect. How big is the peak? If you see the original picture, the peak is no bigger than its belly, okay? So that's very important. If the belly is going to stop here, the peak doesn't need to be bigger than here, okay? So when you're doing a freehand, you need to be observing, like really take your time to observe the picture, because more you observe, more lines and curves and distance you're going to start like, oh, I missed this. So we can see that the neck is from here. And the peak, it has this little curve. It's not like a really like a V. You don't want to do that, okay? Hi, Janie. So now you're going to start like just giving the lines, and maybe just to add some like shadows for you, some lines that for you to follow when you're going to be painting, okay? Okay, when you have ready your sketch and paper, what you're going to do is grab some of the transparent paper, the tracing paper, and you are going to copy the lines. I did this before with this one, okay? But I want you to trace it and have it. After that, I want you to grab your white pastel or chalk pen, and I want you to trace the lines. And you're going to grab your canvas, and you're going to place your paper, and with your pen you're going to be tracing. And then you have here your drawing ready. It's a mop, because the mop brush is going to be helping you to smooth the edges of the paint, okay? 8. Then I have my beautiful liner that my round number 1. Then I have a round number 3, but I want you to see the difference between these two rounds. One has more like the bristle, like a long ones, and this is more like just the shape is more like flat and round, okay? Then I have a flat. This flat is 3/4. The one as well, I have a number 8. Then I have another flat, but this one, it has an angle, okay? And it's so old that I cannot see the number already, but you can see the difference. This is so far what I have. Maybe the one extra brush that I'm going to be using, but let's see, is another round light thin pin in case that my liner is not going to be good enough. These are my brushes. I'm going to prepare my canvas. For that, I want to be using open thinner. That this is good for acrylics and it's a slow dry medium. I'm going to start by applying phthalo green. And if you notice, I am not using water, because when we're doing these type of techniques, you want to have a thick paint. The bottom of my paint, I want to have it more like darker green. So then I'm going to clean my brush. And I'm going to be using is the bright green. Okay, so I have here my flat brush. It's very thick, and I'm going to go besides this green and if you notice, I am leaving like a space in between. And the last green is going to be this very bright green. So this one, I'm going to go as much as I can close to the baby duck. And here you can start using one of these two brushes. To be using the angle one. Just to go around. Okay, so the next part is we're going to start using our matte brush. It's important this one need to be dry. Okay, so I start with the lightest part, and I want you to start moving in a little circles. And it's okay if you go a little bit inside of the duck. Don't worry for that. Okay. The product that we have in the bottom that we add is going to allow us to keep moving and mixing the colors. So I'm coming close to the dark green. And now I'm going to go in the bottom. See? Don't push too much the brush into the canvas, because you are going to peel the color that you have already there. So we need to imagine there is a line dividing the grass, like the part of the grass that is close to you, that is going to have more definition, and the part that is in the, like far away from you. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to clean as much as I can. And I'm going to grab more of the light green, and I wanna just make a little circle here, then go back to your very soft, guys. You don't want to push too much. This is one way to do the bokeh effect. I try to clean each time. and very soft. See? Let's do another one. So you can come back and revisit, but remember, try to dry and very soft and gentle. Don't push too much, okay? So you want to add another color here. I'm going to clean my brush, a little bit of my darker green, and I can make a little bit here, little one, and clean my brush and soft and gentle. This is one way to do your bokeh effect. Okay, and you need to be super sure that it's 100% dry. So here I have my circles, so I think it's this type, and what we're going to do now is we're going to add a little bit of white into our palette. And I'm going to clean. I have this flat because I don't want to be like wasting our time. So I'm going to be using a little bit of white with a little bit of our light green, but yeah, I don't know if you can see it, but it's really like a little tiny like paint. It's almost nothing. So I'm going to be mixing it. And if you notice, I don't have water in the brush. So then I'm going to pick something like this, and with my paper or like towel, whatever I'm using, you want to come here. You can even use a bigger flat brush as well, okay? So I don't want to use mine because it has water, but the idea, guys, is dry. This is dry. And look at this. You want to have this type of like blurry but you can see through effect. Okay, so let's do another one, and you can even change the sizes. That's what I'm doing. So it's dry. So I can see some of the hair of the mop brush. So something that I will recommend you before using it, try to like erase, like not erase, like a mop it in your hand, just to make to lose those extra like hairs. Okay. Okay. Okay, let me show you another way to do, okay? It's with your finger. Yes, with your finger. So what I do, I dip a little bit water in my finger, and I'm going to grab a little bit of the white, tap it, and I'm going to grab a little bit of water, load my brush with the yellow ochre, and I'm going to go all around. We're going to be mixing greens, the bright green, the greenish yellow, and the dark one. I'm going to be dividing this green, and I'm going to add a little bit of our magenta. And I'm going to be mixing it because I want to have like a darker greenish. With this touch of magenta, it's going to be like between green and purplish. We want to have fun with the grass, okay? So load your brush, and we're going to be using this part of the brush. So I'm going to I want you to see the movement of my hand. And if you add one grass, I don't want to do like this. I want you to move your brush. Like let's work this part. And then from here, see? I go back and I keep moving, but always my point is in the same place. Let's go back. And we're going to add more grass later, so it's okay. Let's keep just adding. Okay, I'm going to clean my brush very well. So again, I'm going to be using not the belly, the tip. And I'm going some grasses here and there. That's why we need a darker background, because by doing that you will see more clear the strokes of the light grasses. So I'm going to grab, my brush is still with the paint, so I want to grab a little bit of this super light green. So I'm making a new green, and here I have white. So I'm mixing these two greens. Let's grab a little more of this green. There you go. And I'm going to add a little bit of water, and I'm going to change my brush. So now it's time to start using the round ones. So this is the number 3. I'm going to add a little bit of water. And I'm going to start adding very soft lines. Brush and go back with my green, not the dark one, the regular green, the fallow one, because here I want to have the difference. I want to work very thin lines. You can just use the liner. Wet the liner. You can keep using that one, but if you have a liner, the lines are going to be more thin and beautiful. Okay? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the shadows, okay? So for the shadows, I want to grab my brown. It can be amber, burnt umber or dark brown. And I have here as well my yellow ochre. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab these two. I'm mixing these two colors. Okay, and I'm going to start adding some of the shadows. So I can see a big shadow here. And we're going to start like the strokes and using the belly, the tip of your brush. And it's better to use like a little bit and then come back and add more paint. just a little bit in the bottom, because here we're going to have some flowers. And then I'm going to grab again a little bit, and we're going to add part of the neck. Here we have a line that divides what is the face, but here is part of the neck. So when you're painting acrylics, it's good to start with the darker color and then move towards the lightest color. Then I'm going to add a little bit on its back. And for the face, I want to change my brush. Remember, we have the rounded one and the long round number 1. Okay. So I want to add first some little tiny strokes. We want to leave like lighter around its eye. So we're going to add color to that eye because it looks so creepy. Okay, let's add the eye. I have my other number 1. Let's see, I need a long run. It's 3, but it's like a pointed. It's something that you need to be looking for. And black. And I'm going to just be careful. Go around the pupil. First, need to be everything in black. Just because we want him to have an eye, right? Clean your brush very well. And now I'm going to add some of the maple jello. If you don't have maple jello, you can use red yellow and add a little bit of white with burnt umber or brown, and until you find the correct color that you want. Okay, so I'm going back with the same number 3, but it's long run, and I'm going to grab a little bit of this color that I really totally recommend you guys if you can buy it. And I'm going to start adding some little strokes in its front head. Keep the movement of the feathers. Okay, so now I want to clean my brush, and I want to go back with this brownish color. But I want to grab a little nothing of black. Okay, because I want to keep adding more shadows. First in this part. More I want to have the difference between the browns very clear. And you know, I'm going to even grab a little bit of the red because I want to change the tone of the brown. There you go. Now I love it. It's more like a reddish, yep. With the tip of the brush. Here is when we need to have the difference of the tones. That's why I wanted to make it like reddish, more darker. And here, let me just grab some water and recuperate the point. I want to have some lines. It's like the wrinkles of its neck. Okay, yeah, this is a painting that you need to go slow and take your time. Again, using just the tip of my brush, a little more of water, and here and there. We don't want to cover everything, but we want to introduce this color as well. Because I want you guys to be able to see perfectly. So I'm going to change with my liner. I'm going to grab some water. You don't want to see my head. You want to see the painting. So here, I'm going to start building the little tiny feathers. This part, clean my brush. I'm going to grab a little bit of the maple yellow, and you know, to this one I want to add some white. So let's grab some white, clean white. You need to be careful when you load this brush because it's very like it can come with a lot of paint. So I'm going to start building more this part. More water. And you see, I just grab it as the pencil. And I'm not pushing. I'm just using the tip. You can move your canvas to be able to manage better the feathers. I'm going to just move it a little bit like this to be able to add some color here. Tiny strokes. Yeah, when I am painting, no big format, but a format of the canvas that I can be moving it, I'm doing it all the time. Here we need to have more whitish. And I'm going to be making this orange with our yellow and the red, because we want to give a little tone of also orangey. Let's add some white in its eyes. So we have here white. And I'm going to add more black. And I'm going to grab my number 1 round. And to grab a little bit of the black. I want to grab a straight brown that we have here with a tip, and I want to just give a little bit of brown in the edge. I'm going to clean my brush, grab again some white, grab some of the yellow with the, I want to say correct, maples yellow. I'm gonna grab some maples. And I'm going to add more strokes here with this color and around its eye. Here we need to have in the wrinkles more lighter color. when I have so much paint, I can use it this side and then come back here. A little more water. I'm mixing the water with the paint because I want to have a soft liquid paint. The more water you have, it's more like a transparent the stroke is going to be, and that's what we want. We want to have like a tiny soft strokes here in the top of the darker area. Just with the tip of my bristle, doing small strokes with a mix of yellow maple and white with water to make it a little transparent, because we want to see what is behind, but we want to add this color as well. Here the same. And here the same. Very transparent color. Transparent color here. Okay, introduce a little bit of the yellow to the feathers. And then we're going to still using the same brush. I'm going to grab a little bit of the yellow. This yellow is transparent, and this is what we want, because we want just to add a little bit of this here and there. Not too much because it's super bright, but here and there we want to add a little bit of this color more into the area that is more like whitish. To this, I want to grab a little bit of my red that is nothing, and I'm going to mix this red with the yellow. Too much, okay, so let's figure it together the amount of red in my brush and grab it a little bit. Yes. That's the orange that I was looking for. This is like glazing because it's transparent. It's not very straight. It's not thick, the paint. And I'm doing this because I want to just like really to break the colors. And by doing this and introducing another color, it's like you're giving more like texture to the feathers. Let's paint the peak. So first I'm going to be adding, I'm going to clean my brush, white, with a little bit of the yellowish that my brush has before, and I'm going to grab a little bit of my red to have this pinkish, okay? Clean my brush, and I'm going to grab a little bit of this pink color, and I'm going to add this color to the top part of the peak. going to grab a little bit of the brown that we have here, and where the top peak and the bottom, I'm going to add this color. I'm going to clean my brush and then go back with the pink that we had been using. And I want to blend these two colors. I'm going to grab a little bit of the white. I'm going to add white in the top of the peak in this line. I'm going to blend it. I'm going to be working with the tones until I feel like, oh, this is what I want. A little bit of red again, a little bit of the brown, more red. Okay. Mixing these colors. Grab more. And today that I'm going to be editing this video, all these will have like a zoom in for you guys. To grab a little more of the brown with a nothing of black. And in this part, I'm going to add darker color. And by doing this, I'm making this shadow. Let me just clean my brush. And just blend it. I need more, little tiny, nothing of black. So I'm mixing the pinks, the brown, the black, until I feel I like what I see. A little bit of black here. Then I want to grab black, white, and this part has like a shadow but in white. That is connecting this part of the peak with this part, okay? And then again with the white, I want to grab and highlight. Make a highlight here. It's looking good. Thank you. So if you notice, I'm not using water because I want to control more this part. So I'm gonna grab more of the dark pink. And blend it again. Grab some water, clean my brush. And with the water that my brush has, I'm blending these colors. I'm going to grab a little bit of the red, because I want to grab a little, add a little like red here to give like the explosion of color. and a little bit here. I'm going to wet my brush, clean, and with the water that my brush has, I'm blending. So when you feel happy, go back and add some of the lightest pink to prepare the area of the nostril. Let me grab some red, some white to make this pink, and a little bit of black again, because I want to add this curve here. There you go. And a little shadow. Light pink, dark pink. Yeah, I'm just going back and forth until I like it. Red to recuperate this part. And I think it's almost there, guys. Let me clean my brush. A little bit of the light pink, working around its nostril, a little bit of the white, and again the highlight. And I think the peak is ready. Okay, something that we can do is, maybe it sounds crazy, but go back and grab a little bit of your green, your middle green, because we have here the highlight of the peak. We want to have the background, this part need to be a little darker, so I'm adding the darker green that we have at the beginning to help this part to pop up. So let me just grab my flat brush and drag the paint outside, and my finger. Also, we can do the same here, and drag the paint. If you have already green there, you don't need to be doing this. Maybe you don't. Okay, and here as well, I'm going to grab some water. Let's do this first. And I'm going to add some feathers here outside, like that. It's not going to be like a straight line, okay? He's coming, right, babe? Thank you for coming today. Okay, so let's leave this alone, because then I'm going to be adding these feathers with white, and we're going to be correcting the eye. But now I want to paint the flowers. So for the flowers, I want to have white. My round, we're going to be using my round number 3. I'm going to clean it. Clean white. There you go. And yellow. We have yellow. Here we have yellow that we can be using. Okay? Those are the 2 colors to start the flowers. So the idea is to paint one simple flower here. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to be using our number 1, round number 1 to start. So I'm going to add a little bit of yellow and a little bit of the red that we have here to create this orange. So I'm going to grab a little bit of the color and I'm going to find the center of the flower. So I want to have here bigger flower here. So it's not circle, it's like an oval. And I'm going to grab a little bit of just to mark it, not to paint it. Okay? That's going to be the circle of the flower. I'm going to clean my brush, and this is the fun part. I'm going to come and grab one side of the brush with white, and the another side is going to be with yellow. Okay? And now I'm going to start adding my petals. So I push and I release. Again, I push and I release. And we're going to go all around like this. And the white area, the white side of the brush always is facing in the canvas. So I start like I'm moving my brush when I am pushing. Look, I push and then I release. Sorry. So this is the first layer. Let me just do this again. Okay. And I'm going to wait this to get dry. This is very important, and to come back so we can start adding the new one. So the next one is going to be here, and the circles we're going to come back later and work it better. Okay, just now is to know where we are. Okay, so we're going to be painting this one. So first we're going to paint these petals. So you can start with the middle one. I'm going to go besides. Let me just grab again more white. Okay, and another one is going to be here. Let me check on you. Yes. So one side of my brush is white and the other side is yellow, and always the part of the white need to be facing the canvas, and push and release. And I load it again with white. I'm going to put the white over the canvas, push and release. Again with white, push and release. Again with white. You can even move your canvas a little bit to help you with the direction of the petals. We can even put one. Okay, so let's paint this one. So let me just add first to find first where it's going to be here, the center. And again, the centers we're going to be painting it later better. Okay, so one side is going to be white and another yellow. Okay, so white and the canvas, press and release. Press and release. You can add the yellow whenever works good for you. These are daisies, so yeah, that's the way they are. Okay, so what we're going to do, 1, 2, 3, 4, we need one more. So what about here? So again, let me just grab a little bit just to know where we're going to be painting. And white and yellow, and the white is going to be in the canvas. Press and release. Press and release. Your brush needs to be loaded with a good amount of paint to be able to do this type of petals. Okay, and if you feel one of the petals are not like with enough paint, like here, you can come back and repaint it. Okay, okay, so what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be drying this part to be able to come back, or we can wait this to get dry and we can move and do the little tiny one. Okay, this is like a one part, so while this is drying, we're going to go back and load your brush just with white, and we're going to start from the top to the bottom. What you're going to do is you're going to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 petals, and this is what we're going to be doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to keep moving. So the ones who are far away from us need to be tiny, and then you're going to start moving towards you and the petals need to start being like bigger. And this one I use make it just straight white. Here we're going to add then we're going to be adding like tiny little dots like this, okay? So we need to load very well our brush. And let's do another one tiny here. You can move your canvas, that is going to be easier for you. And now let's paint this side. Just 5 dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Better if your brush is really good loaded, because just by touching the canvas you create a petal. If you see, it's like touching, releasing, releasing, and just moving around. This one needs to be a little bigger, but still all white. And let's do some tiny here. You can add as many flowers as you feel like you have in this painting. I'm gonna say your backyard. So with the back part of your brush, let me just wash it with this part. Grab some white and come back and start adding some dots. The dots can be like different sizes. Will depend how much you put pressure into the canvas. If you just touch the canvas, or you just push like this, the idea by doing this is that there are little tiny flowers. Okay, let me just try these flowers to keep moving, okay? And I have here my yellow. And I have here my light green that we used at the beginning, remember? So here's my light green. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go and add this light green outside the center of the flower at the beginning of your petals. And then I'm going to grab the darker green that we used at the beginning as well. And you're going to go and add some dots in the bottom of the center of the flower. And then wash your brush and just drag the paint that you just add like this. Need to be wet. Your brush need to be wet. Just to give an extra kick to your flowers. Wet the brush. And we're going to be adding more white, you will see. Just wait for me. And even here, if it was too much, if you wet the brush, you can correct the color. Okay, so now what I'm going to be doing is, it's looking good, right? I'm going to grab just white, a straight white, and I'm going to come back and add the second layer that is the most important one of the daisies in between. So there you go. And here I'm going to grab a little bit of the yellow, because here we need to have the special way that the petals are facing. So first you're going to add one like this, add more white, and then you want to add one here, two, and three. Load your brush. This one you want to have all of them facing at the front, so it's 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'll just correct this one. White. This one again, one tiny one. And let's do another one. Oh, this can be just tiny one. 1, 2, 3, 4. This can be like bigger. And I'm already seeing the one that I did to have it more thick. A little bit of yellow here. Okay. Just by adding a little bit of yellow, you can see better where the petals are. Okay, so let's give it just with white to make the rest of the petals in between. Yeah, I like to have a thick paint when I'm doing this part. Because then you can see the strokes, and the strokes will help you with the texture of the petal. And it's the same technique. Load your brush, press and release, push and release. Okay, while this is drying, I'm going to grab my same brush, my darker green that we have at the beginning, with some water. I want to grab a little bit of the black, and I want to add some of the steam. Maybe more black. And we're going to come back later and add some light green, just to help us to see. Just some lines. Okay, so I'm going to clean my brush, grab the light green that we have here, I'm going to make some, whatever you add the darker green, I'm adding just a little highlight. Let me just grab some white. There you go. Okay. With the light green that we have here, I'm going to load my brush. And press and release. Okay, go back and grab some of the medium green that we used at the beginning and complete the other side. You can do more. Press and release. And play with the greens, guys. So I'm going to add a little bit of my darker green, I have here my darker green from the beginning. Let me mix it with a little bit of the black and just add more like dimension of grass into. Okay, so the last part of the flowers, I'm going to clean very well my brush, and I'm going to grab my yellow that I have it here with a little bit of light red. We're going to add again red to make this orange. So I have here my yellow and my orange that I'm going to be using. I'm going to clean my brush. First I'm going to grab a little bit of my yellow and then I'm going to grab the orange and all around the flower, the center of the flower, I'm going to have this orange. And I can even grab more red because we want to have more like the contrast of the colors. So I'm just adding some little tiny dots. There you go. The touch of the light yellow at the end, you will see how beautiful it looks. Let me just clean very well my brush. Grab some yellow. Some orange. Some red. Okay, same. First the yellow. A little bit of the orange. And then the red. Hola Anita, gracias. Si la quieres volver a ver, va a estar en mi webpage. Por los próximos 4 días va a estar gratis. Qué bueno que pudiste venir. So I'm adding a little bit of the yellow. So each time I'm cleaning my brush, each time that I'm changing colors. A bit of the orange. And then we're going to add the red. Little tiny dots. Okay. Just come here. Grab more of my yellow because I want to add more little dots here of yellow. So I'm going to dry the flowers because I want to give the last light glaze of the yellow. Okay, so I'm back. I'm going to clean my brush. I'm going to grab yellow with more water than color because I'm going to do some glazing. Whatever you feel like you are missing some type of the yellow, you need to be adding. This part need to be in the bottom because these petals are like facing you. And this one needs to be in the top. Again, this needs to be in the bottom, and this in the top. Okay, so with the yellow, then I'm going to come back and add some centers of the little tiny flower that we paint here. Yeah, I have 2 monsters, Lola and Canela. Okay, so let me just check that I have all in yellow, because what you can do is to grab your orange. If the orange is already dry, grab a little bit more of your yellow, your red, mix it to make the orange, because we want to grab a little bit of this color again and add a little bit of a touch of this tone besides the yellow that you already add, just to break the color with another one. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing now, and this is the last part, I'm going to be using my liner with my white and I want to be sure that is all good spread. And this is what you're going to be doing, guys. You are going to be doing this is the last part, tiny strokes with the straight white. You can use a liner, you can use a 000 brush like the one I shared with you in another classes. And yeah, I need to be straight white with no color to make the effect of the feathers. And remember, some feathers need to be outside, it's body, just like this, and also here. I'm going to move a little bit my paint. And just remember, guys, to follow the direction of the feathers that we had been like painting before. You don't want to do straight lines. I'm going to be finishing this paint, because everything that I'm doing now is just adding white. So I'm going to be finishing and I'm going to be editing and adding it tonight into my website.